Is college really worth it? Is the time, energy, and money you're putting into, this 4 to 6 years of your life really gonna make an outcome and help your progression in life overall? Today, I'm here to just answer some of that question, maybe get some insight as a college student. Welcome back, guys. My name is Cohen. If you don't know me, I am a 20-year-old college student who is working on. I'm currently a sophomore in college, and I'm working to get my bachelor's in exercise science. And I'm currently working a job as well as just trying to keep my income up in a variety of different ways as I go through this time of college in my life. So yeah, I just kind of want to get to the point in this video and share what I've been thinking, because I just had this video idea earlier today where I was like, okay, I've been questioning, is college really worth my time recently? I go through times in the past 2 years that I've been in college. I've gone through, you know, weeks to a month or two at a time where I'm like, I don't know if I should just, go ahead and cut off and just go do my own thing and be done with college, because it's just taking so much of my time and my energy, and I'm not making a lot of money while doing it, that I'm actually losing money while being here. But I am in a good financial place for college, as I was lucky enough to get scholarships and have different resources at my disposal. That's not bragging in any way. It's just more so that I've had great opportunity to go to college, which I'm very grateful for. So that's also been a large part of my consideration. I've had opportunity to go to college, but at the same time, I'm still, struggling with the fact that I go through periods of times where it feels like my life isn't on pause in other areas of my life because I'm so focused on college. I'm sure people who have been to college or at least experienced a version of college can relate to that whole idea that, this never ending cycle of work and tests just really makes your life on pause in other ways, and that it's very hard in some ways to manage your time socially, um, spiritually, with school as well, and work if you work. But the larger question, is college worth it for just anybody? I would say yes. I would say 100% yes. But, but it's what you make it is 100%, 110% what you make it. It can either break or make who you are as a person. I genuinely stand on that. If you go to college as a young adult, you know, then you're learning you're learning who you are, who you're going to become. Everything is getting formed during this stage of your life. If you don't go to college, that's the same. But in college, you have so many options. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a party scene, there's um an academic scene, there's different clubs, different outputs you can go into that are more readily at your disposal than any other thing that you can go into after high school. So I'm saying, like, there's so many different options and pathways and environments in college, more so than just, going to work a job. It's not saying that you're not actively developing and making those decisions in just a typical job setting outside of high school or career setting outside of high school. But at college, it's more of like, it's more uh, around, if that makes sense. It's more around you. So it's so easy to slip into bad habits in college, but it's also, there's so many opportunities to have great habits. And so you see so many people thrive in this setting, and then you see some that just become, that fail, and honestly, in some ways, become worse for their college experience. So I genuinely do believe in the year 2026, it is based off of the person who you are, that determines on your success in college, as well as, what opportunities and resources you have. I think that is a big consideration, is those two things: what type of person you are and those resources. Because, you know some people thrive without college, and that's just amazing. Like, you don't need this kind of way to transition to adulthood, and you go straight into it, and that's great. But most of us, we don't work like that. Most of us, most of our minds, we get out of high school and we're still little kids, like 20, 21, 22. We're still a kid mentally and physically, and socially we're an adult. um we're considered an adult, and so college allows you to make it more soft of a transition, if that makes sense. Which is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. That's the thing. Like, it is completely what you make it. And I'll just kind of share how I've matured and developed through college, and how I started to slip down a path where it could have really made me worse as a person than compared to just going into a career out of high school. So freshman year I got here, I was starting to get into a little bit of a party scene. I was going to fraternity parties, and I was drinking, smoking. My roommate was a big smoker, so I would be around that a lot. Now I would say, like, I still wouldn't really do much during the weekdays. I would just save it for the weekend, but like, I didn't really have passion for school. Like, it was just there. Like, I was just going through the motions, and I wasn't active in my education and what I wanted to do in my career. But socially, it was good. Like, I was meeting a lot of people. Okay, sophomore year, I started to feel the shift that, you know I got to make these active decisions. Um, my bad. There's a dog outside. Hey, dog, dog, dog. Hey, I'm gonna pause the video real quick. My fault, guys. I was trying to save that dog, but I guess he didn't want to be saved, man. Um, just ran away from home, apparently. Um, but what I was saying is, you know, parties. I was saying I was, out, and then sophomore year, I got to this mindset shift where it's like, okay, I'm really in college for me. Like, I could be doing this, and that. Because, like, last year, I would also fall into the patterns of, like, man, I could be doing this with my business, or I could be doing this, and that. And I'm like, but I'm not, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is completely my decision. I'm lucky enough to be in a place where I can say, oh, I don't, like, I could live without college, bro. I could go do something else. I would be fine. But I'm making an active decision that it's important for me at this time, because I have all these ideas and things, but I don't really have any momentum in them. So I would stop college, and I'd go get not I would get a starter job, 9 to 5 kind of deal going on, and then I would try to start all these things and just fail, and not really have a fallback. If that makes sense. So really, college is my fallback, bro. Like, I don't like to put it that way, because it's a main career aspect to it, but it's like, it's so important in that sense that it allows me to have a safety net in case what I really want to do in my life is it fails. Like, I don't really want to work in a typical, office setting. And so that's why I'm into this kind of stuff. I'm into different things, into creation and entrepreneurship. I don't know how exactly it's gonna look and unpack and develop in the next few years, but I have a general direction I'm going. And with, like, YouTube, bro, like, I can't just quit college right now and go work a 9 to 5 and do YouTube. That's not a good life for me, man. Like, instead, I can do a blend of things. I can work college. I have a job on the side. I can, and I still it's thinner margins, but I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. And college is so good in that way. And just getting an education. And I don't believe it has to be any 4-year institution that you have to live. It doesn't have to be traditional. Now, there is a great social aspect that you get from that. Don't get me wrong. Like, it has brought me such a far way in the way I speak and hold myself and understand socially how to interact with my peers. College has. So if you do not go to college, I highly recommend you expanding your circles of influence, if that makes sense. So like going to some sort of club or joining some sort of club membership, people, some sort of new circle in your life when you do get to that point, because you got to try to replicate that to the best of your ability so you can socially stay updated as well. But there's so many aspects to college, like you got to consider finance, social, all this kind of stuff. So it really is personal at the end of the day, bro. Like, I know I said I think it depends on the person you are. That is completely personal, bro. Like, you got to think about it. You got to weigh all the pros and cons. Um and you got to reassess, bro. Like, I reassess every semester. I have times of reflection where it's like, is this the right decision for me right now? Yes, there's no better option, and I'm happy to be here. I'm grateful to be here. Now, do I go through times where I'm like, screw this? Of course I do, bro. But I would do that if I was working, if I was doing something else right now. I would do that. But, like, you just got to do that. And you're going to be in the trenches of it sometimes. Like, you're going to be in a test cycle where you're just like, oh man, I'm hurting, bro. Like, you're just studying stuff you don't want to study for. You're not performing well. You're working hard, but it doesn't feel like it's really paying off right now. And I'm kind of in that phase right now of my college career. But you got to put your head down, just like anything in the real world, and boom, that's going to simulate the real world. That's going to pay off for you later. And that's more valuable than any career or any, my bad, any degree you can get for college, to me, is being able to overcome these situations, being able to teach yourself how to study, teach yourself how to manage your time from a variety of different things, trials, tribulations, all this. The way I've grown in that is so amazing, bro. Like, I've become so much better at managing my time, managing my energy, knowing how to balance everything. And that's one of the main things in college that I love so much. I'm going to take from college, because when I do get out into the real world, I'm going to feel like so much more able to manage a full-time job with these other outputs that I plan to put into place going forward. Um, if that makes sense. So it is a personal decision at the end of the day. Consider consider all aspects, all sides. Consider people around you, what they think. Don't be rash. I wouldn't say put yourself in a hole for college. Like, people put so much into trying to get into a certain college, trying to get into a certain program. I understand some people have dreams, aspirations that they've had from being a little kid for a college or a program. But there's so much you can do, and there's so many different ways to do it. So think about it that way. That's kind of my whole explanation over college, what benefits, cons you can get from it. If you feel like you're missing out on the real world, whatever, there's a lot of layers to it. I'll probably do a follow up video over this again soon, more specific, and try to lay out different parts of college. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We got more videos coming up this week, and we're gonna get on this new content rolling out. It's just been a hectic past few days and weekend, so apologize for that. I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace out.